Armie Hammer was built for success: money, a powerful family, looks and the dimensions of a laboratory-grown leading man. Success had chased him since birth. Somehow, Hammer was faster. Hollywood has always cancelled actors. Some were forgiven, some waited for everyone to move on, then quietly returned to supporting roles. A rare few even cleared their name. And then there's Armie Hammer. Why did an old money boy become an actor? How did he burn through nearly every advantage a leading man could even have? And how did a career shaped by David Fincher and Guy Ritchie end up rebooted by Uwe Boll in a film effectively banned in Germany? This is Hollywood lore. Let's go. Unlike some greedy fellows, Armie Hammer didn't enter Hollywood to become rich. He already was. The actor was named after his great-grandfather, the man who made the enormous fortune. So, while Bruce Willis was working at a nuclear power plant, Armie Hammer's family owned the nuclear power plant. And Mickey Rourke, selling chips on a bridge, had no idea that this bridge probably belonged to Hammer's great-grandfather. Then the great-grandfather died, leaving behind a business empire, a crapload of money, and an art collection. So the Hammer family's love of art didn't go anywhere. Papa Hammer even opened an art center in New York, where rich people exchanged money for Pollocks, Rothkos, and other prestigious splashes of paint. Later it turned out that some of those were fakes, painted in Mr. Bean's backyard. Around $80 million worth of these masterpieces was sold. Papa Hammer got a gentle slap on the wrist for the whole thing. Apparently that's how it works when you're rich. Papa Hammer also loved movies. That's why the family mansion appears in several of them, including Rocky V. So artistic passion really did run in the family. Armie inherited that passion too, along with everything that came with Hammer name. Naturally, Hollywood wasted no time noticing such a promising young talent. For the next few years, Hammer moved from show to show, occasionally popping up in major series like Gossip Girl and Desperate Housewives. He also scored leading roles in some suspicious projects, including Billy the Early Years and Blackout. Together, those gems made enough money to buy several reasonably priced sandwiches, and in the films that earned a little more, like Flicka, you needed a microscope to find Hammer on screen. Then in 2010, David Fincher ran into a problem. He just couldn't find the right pair of twins. That was Fincher's original plan. He didn't want to deal with one actor playing both twins, but he couldn't find the right pair of twins either. So the director cast two different actors, Armie Hammer and Josh Pence, and then had to decide which one's face the other would wear. Hammer looked more like the actual twins, so they slapped his face onto Josh Pence. David Fincher is famous for his love of shooting the same scene 100 times. Naturally, every actor on set got to experience that love, Hammer included. The rowing scenes were especially brutal. The actor had to row so much that he started losing weight almost immediately, so he began eating everything in sight just to survive. By Hammer's own admission, that was exactly why he enjoyed working on The Social Network. Normally, he had to follow all kinds of diets to fit in the frame. The Social Network made $225 million on a budget of 40. With numbers like that, a sequel would normally be inevitable. But Fincher had already survived Alien 3, and apparently once was enough. Ever since then, the director seems determined to stay away from any franchises, and even sequels. Not even the screenwriter of Social Network, Aaron Sorkin, could change his mind. For years, he practically camped outside Fincher's window with a giant number 2. The talented director just ignored these subtle hints. So Sorkin eventually decided to become a talented director himself, and this October we're finally getting something resembling a sequel, though almost everyone from the original cast is gone, and Jesse Eisenberg is replaced by corporate rap's brightest star. Today's Armie Hammer would probably be thrilled to appear in something like that, but apparently no invitation came. A sequel might have given his career a much-needed boost. The first Social Network certainly did. The film, the director, and the whole cast was praised. Hammer got his share of attention too, and not just from critics and regular viewers, but also from Clint Eastwood. The director was impressed by such a good-looking young fellow, and decided that for a real breakthrough, Hammer needed something about real strong male friendship. In my next video I'll talk about how historically questionable male friendship can lead a movie to disaster, and also bury an entire genre for the second time. But that movie was from the mid-2000s. With Clint Eastwood's J. Edgar, nothing disastrous happened. By 2011, this kind of biographical interpretation was already being called very brave and very important, so the critics liked J. Edgar. Regular viewers, though, as always, didn't understand such bravery. The film didn't flop, but it clearly performed worse than expected. Hammer, though, wasn't affected by that. The actor got several nominations for such an important role, and he decided it was time to become a big star. And for some reason, everything immediately started going wrong. First, Hammer ended up in Mirror Mirror. Not that the movie was a flop. Yes, both critics and audiences disliked it, but it did okay at the box office. But right after that, Hammer was paired with Johnny Depp in the blockbuster The Lone Ranger. The thing bombed so hard, it cracked Depp's career. And by 2013, Depp's career was still pretty solid. This movie is the natural enemy of inspirational Facebook quotes. You know, the whole better to do something badly than do nothing at all stuff. The Lone Ranger is here to inform Sir Churchill he was wrong. This movie was supposed to be made back in the late 90s, but for a full 10 years, studios were tossing it around like a hot potato. Apparently they all noticed some suspicious smell. Disney, however, detected nothing. They attached director Gore Verbinski and producer Jerry Bruckheimer to the project. Back then those two were Disney's golden geese. And by golden eggs, of course, I mean the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. So without thinking too hard, the Sweet Twigs duo invited Depp into The Lone Ranger as well. Hammer later said he had never seen such a strange production in his entire life. Money was flying in every direction. Like, expensive gunslingers were hired to teach the fine art of drawing a gun with a style. One set of hats was made, someone decided they were wrong, and suddenly everyone needed a new hat. A freshly shot scene could be reshot, because one cloud in the frame looked wrong. Nature, observing all this, decided to help filmmakers spend even more money. So, along with the wrong clouds, it sent wildfires and chickenpox. In the end, one crew member drowned during the production. Then Homo sapiens joined the fight against the movie too. This was 2013 after all, so people suddenly decided Johnny Depp couldn't play a Native American. Depp had claimed native ancestry, but apparently the ancestry department remained unconvinced. Some argued that the whole thing should have been reshot with an actual Native American actor. The general belief is that all this noise hurt the movie at the box office. The original budget for The Lone Ranger was $215 million, but according to various reports, the true cost was somewhere around $260. And that's exactly what the film made at the box office. Funny thing is, the movie was nominated for both an Oscar and the Golden Raspberry. The Razzie naturally did not slip away. The Oscars did, and if The Lone Ranger had won one of its technical nominations, it would have been the second film in history to win both an Oscar and a Razzie, so The Lone Ranger couldn't even get that right. After the film, Gore Verbinski's big-budget Hollywood career was pretty much gone, and this guy made such hits as Pirates of the Caribbean and The Ring. The mouse was so angry it even kicked out the producer, Jerry Bruckheimer. In his case, The Sorcerer's Apprentice also played a part. So yeah, the autopsy was brutal. Compared to all that, Armie Hammer actually got lucky. He simply waited out the storm doing voice work for video games. And a couple of years later, once everyone had moved on, the actor returned to movies. Hammer chose some sick comeback strategy. The actor starred in 7 box office flops in a row, but not all flops are created equal. There is a certain kind that doesn't really feel like a flop. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was one of these rare creatures. I talked about this movie in my Henry Cavill video, and about the little casting that happened after Tom Cruise left the project. Originally, Cruise was supposed to play the American agent, and Henry Cavill the Russian one, but Tom as usual ran off to complete another impossible mission. After that, Cavill replaced him, and the second lead went to Hammer. Most likely with Tom Cruise, the Man from U.N.C.L.E. would have made money after all. That's how this actor's special street magic works. But with Cavill and Hammer, the film flopped, making $110 million on a budget of $75. Plans for a franchise instantly vanished. Still, the movie found its fans. Every few years, sequel talk crawls back out of the ground. But with that box office, it's hard to imagine Part 2 actually happening. You can't call Nocturnal Animals a complete flop either. Yes, financially things were terrible, but critics loved the film, and so did certain viewers. Some people even call it a cult movie nowadays. All the awards the movie picked up flew right past Hammer. But the actor didn't give up. From 2015 to 2017, he kept appearing in small projects, probably hoping that if audiences wouldn't show up, at least the critics would. Hammer starred in Stanley Tucci's Final Portrait, Ben Wheatley's Free Fire, and a few projects so niche they barely existed outside festivals. Some of them were seriously suspicious, like Mine. That one looked like Hammer's early attempt to plant a flag in B-movie territory. But in 2017, Hammer got lucky with one film. And one was enough. That film was Luca Guadagnino's Call Me By Your Name. After this movie, everyone noticed the heavy load of talent on Timothée Chalamet's shoulders. Something similar was noticed again in Armie Hammer too. For his role in this picture, the actor received his first and so far only Golden Globe nomination. And things started looking up for Armie. For a while after that, he kept running through various very important films. on the basis of Sex, Hotel Mumbai, Sorry to Bother You, and Crisis. Amazingly, some of them even managed to make money at the box office. The actor also made his way onto streaming platforms with Rebecca and Wounds. The latter gave us this breakup scene, now permanently installed in the feeds of emotionally sophisticated, enlightened women. In the early 2020s, Hammer once again decided he was going to become a big star. The actor landed a role in Kenneth Branagh's Death on the Nile, and in Taika Waititi's next goal wins. And while all these movies were being made, it came out that Armie Hammer was a little bit Hannibal Lecter, a little bit Patrick Bateman, and overall not a very good person. The whole thing started with leaked messages sent to some lady. In those, the actor expressed a desire to either screw her or eat her. Ideally both, and it didn't matter in what order. Then other ladies started showing up, and they also had plenty of nasty things to say. Hammer's social media didn't help either. In some posts, the actor would poke a meat on a grill and dream about trying something else too. He reflected on fantasies involving various Flügelgeheimnisse. This became proof that the actor had a few screws loose, and Hammer was instantly cancelled. In Next Goal Wins, all his scenes were reshot with another actor. Right before filming was supposed to start, the actor was thrown out of Shotgun Wedding and The $1 Billion Spy. He was also kicked out of the series The Offer. And then one of the Hollywood's biggest talent agencies also decided to Delta. Hammer quickly admitted to everything except eating ladies. He asks people not to take that seriously and insists that if he had actually eaten someone, he clearly wouldn't have written about it. So he was just joking, right? But since Armie Hammer isn't James Gunn, nobody got those jokes. The team behind Death on the Nile spent a long time thinking what to do with the actor. COVID delays gave the studio time to let the headlines cool. When the movie finally came out, Hammer remained, but the marketing treated him like a deleted scene. Funny thing is, all these projects performed very modestly. Sure, there's a chance they would have been better with him, but not exactly a huge one. The $1 Billion Spy, where Mads Mikkelsen was supposed to star with Hammer, was cancelled altogether. Now it's apparently back from the dead, and the whole thing looks very suspicious. So Hammer didn't exactly miss out on a row of masterpieces. His real problem was that new offers stopped coming. It's believed that after the scandal, the actor was exiled somewhere to the islands, where he got treated for every possible kind of addiction. His family washed their hands of this version of Armie Hammer, so on top of everything else, the actor started having money problems. According to Hammer, Robert Downey Jr. helped him back then, the same guy Hollywood had once given up on too until Iron Man happened. Maybe Hammer will get his own Iron Man too, someday, but not today. As of now, over the past couple of years, he's had a cowboy movie, a music video where he plays Cannibal Ken, and an Uwe Boll project. So you can't really deny the actor some self-irony. Though maybe the point is simply that Uwe Boll was the only director who actually offered him a role, and Hammer didn't say no. Considering the kind of movies the German maestro usually makes, all of this can look like planned career suicide. But it's not quite that simple actually. At different points, Jason Statham, Ray Liotta, Ben Kingsley and Til Schweiger all appeared in Boll's films, and that line on the resume didn't stop them from getting into successful movies later. Besides, Citizen Vigilante has already started building a small cult following. The German screening ban only helped. Naturally, people immediately rushed to check such a film. The Streisand effect hasn't been cancelled after all. Elon Musk also took part in the people's cultural enrichment. He just put Citizen Vigilante on his social network for free viewing for a couple of days. So yeah, Uwe Boll is already saying there will be a sequel, which means Armie Hammer has at least one more potential project. And not just one, by the way. Hammer has a few more in development. Looking at his current co-stars, though, optimism is not exactly the first emotion that comes to mind. The actor's current company includes Billy Zane, Thomas Jane, and Jake Busey, who looks like his father's clone. In other words, written of actors who have spent the last few years appearing in movies of a certain category. The kind that's too good to watch. But comebacks are nothing new for Hammer. He handled one pretty well in the mid-2010s, after the failure of The Lone Ranger. Maybe he'll manage something similar the second time around. Or maybe Downey Jr. will help him. The same guy who already helped Mel Gibson pull out of a deep nosedive. We have videos about rises and falls of both of them. Go check those out. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and see you next time!